Good morning.
Hey, top of the morning to everybody.
It may be top over there, but I feel like I'm on bottom. I didn't do my hair. Y'all just barely got me here. It's too early. Work.
I only crawled out of bed at 40 minutes ago, folks.
Well, I didn't use hairspray or gel or nothing fancy today, y'all. You get it broke down. It's a holiday, and that's how I'm hanging out.
Well, you guys are more into, I didn't even have a chance to wake up. Trina knows what my morning was like. I didn't even have my chance to hit the floor. And I'm exhausted because I woke up so abruptly. My feet didn't hit the floor for 10 minutes and I had to be out the door with a phone call that I received. And so I'm lucky I just threw my bed hair just up in my hat and yeah.
Y'all, I love it. We have a few people. We have a few people on, but we already got a thumbs down and we ain't even started.
We got a thumbs down and oh my gosh.
And I have mimosas, so I'm just telling y'all, our morning started off very laid back and casual with the Welches today. So I am excited about what we're fixing to tell you all about, because if you own a business, or if you have friends that own a business that took a hit in 2020 or 2021, and there was any shutdowns or scale backs, this is going to be important information for you. If you had anywhere from 10 to 500 employees, and possibly even down to 5 employees. We're trying to verify this because we've gotten 2 different notifications. So Luke is working on the phone trying to get that verified, whether it's 5 employees or 10 minimum. But y'all, there is an account with over $1 trillion in it, sitting there, waiting for business owners. And luckily, Luke had someone reach out to him that they are not only a company that has CPAs that are actual CPAs to do this correctly, but they also have lawyers. So I just wanted all of you to know this is a possibility that y'all could hone in on and recoup some from. So Luke, everybody knows you. I don't have to introduce you anymore.
All right. Well, good morning. Oh man. Yesterday morning, at 6:30, I live in this apartment here in downtown Bellevue. The bands were playing, the microphones were going right outside of my apartment toward the front. I live on a walkway that comes back. And there was a half marathon that started, and they had streets closed down from 6:30 to nearly noon yesterday. But the bands were playing, the people were out there on the microphone. So I woke up to all this screaming and shouting, and yes, it was just to get out of here, I had to walk all the way across the park to get a ride, to go hit a couple stores. So it was an exciting morning. So much quieter today. So anyway, here we are, and yes, we want to share some information with people, to help. I guess I would say this is just an economic program to not only help the business owners, attention business owners, attention payroll people, attention, bookkeepers, because your businesses can certainly put some money back in your pockets. And to those entrepreneurs out there that want to put some money in your pockets, we'll describe how this operation is recruiting agents, and how you as an agent can make some money just by going out and asking some questions and helping rebuild the economy of the country, from the grassroots up. This is, if you talk about grassroots, this is basically grassroots, because this is on the street, getting in front of you, getting in front of people, just having an opportunity here. I know, we some of us think that we're going to have our windfall here anytime. So here is an interim opportunity to help individuals that are industrious, just want to make a difference. So that can be an exciting time for us.
Awesome. I am thrilled about this, because after really watching everything on the videos and connecting with the right people having their hands on a program like this that know how to facilitate it and make it be a well-oiled machine where it can be done correctly, that's only a win-win. And when there's really no money that's lost at all by anyone, the business owner, us, nobody, it's sitting there, y'all, that the past administration, 45's administration, put this money in these accounts. But as usual with the IRS, it's made really difficult for us to understand it and navigate it, especially if you're a smaller business owner. And therefore, if you don't have a tax accountant, CPA, which I would want a CPA for something this big and this important, and to have a good CPA firm that has negotiated through this paperwork, or not negotiated, but navigated their way through this paperwork, and also has the attorneys there to look over it and back it up, this is a win-win. You pay them a certain amount, but that amount is deducted if it is seen that it is taken care of in the end. We're going to play a really quick 5-minute video, but I'm trying to give people enough time to get on. And if you have friends that are business owners, but this is something you just don't want to mess with, you don't want to look into it, you don't want to look at becoming an agent or whatever, give them our email. I'm fixing to put it on the bottom of the screen. And what I need you to do, and I didn't put this on there, but when it scrolls, when you have the subject line, in the subject line, you need to put, is it ERC? Am I saying it right?
ERC, that's correct.
ERC in the subject line. And the way we're handling it within our little three, well, that doesn't sound right. This little ton group of patriots here, because, yeah, I don't know that Luke wanted to be in a threesome with me and CJ, so that might not be the same. But it will go to our email, but put ERC. And as that list comes out, I'm just going to run I will probably put it over into an Excel spreadsheet, and we're rotating the people. We will rotate through all of us. So it helps every single one of us. It doesn't help just our network. It's going to help us and our families, but we don't get anything if your businesses if the businesses you refer are not accepted. But the ones that are accepted, they do pay us a percentage, but it's not out of your people's money. It is government money. So with that being said, I think I said that correctly, right, Luke?
I think so.
He's muted. He's talking to somebody. He's finding out if it's 5 or if it's 10, I bet you, y'all.
Right.
So, good morning. It is Labor Day, and it is a fantastic day to be alive in America, because we are on our way to Rosh Hashanah. And with that being, we're in the fixing to wrap up a Jubilee year, and things are setting on go that if you do have currency, you're going to be so excited, I hope. And I'm just, I am leaning forward in my prayers that is the situation, y'all. I'm not telling you dates and times, but I'm telling you God's time clock and God's biblical promises to us. And I'm standing on his promises, because he is not a man that he should not lie. So I'm going to stand firm that his dates are better than our dates, and his way is much higher than our way. But where did all of Solomon's gold go?
Hey,
Would currency not be better than what we've got right now, or commodities? I mean, what we got right now, it's just ink on paper, and it's not working out real well right now for America. In other countries, especially the BRICS nations. So, go ahead, Luke.
yeah, I was interrupted. There was a call that came in. I wanted to see if it was how important it was, but I'm okay. The what I wanted to point out, here before we play this as well is, you talked about, accountants and others, doing this. This last week, I went out just in my local area here. My leg was feeling good enough, so I ventured out and started calling on businesses. And here's several things I experienced. The firm we're talking about here has got the proprietary software, advanced, all the advanced stuff to be able to do this. They specifically set their firm up, in order to tackle this, because there's a short window, that businesses can take advantage of this stimulus. Now this does run through 2025 or April of 2025. That'll be the last time they can file. So, but what I experienced when I went out and started talking to business owners or the manager or somebody that has influence. One instance down here, a very patriotic-minded business owner, very nice restaurant. Ended up talking with the owner's son, and he says, "Oh, the ERC. Oh, we started this back in February. We're taken care of." Well, they're taken care of, but they still haven't gotten their money. And what we've been able to discern from the some of the communication, is the smaller companies. Some are getting paid in as little as 75 days. The the path through navigating all the paperwork can be extremely, extremely confusing, to the point where they've even had other CPA firms and accountants refer their clients over to this firm to be able to get it done quickly. So, so that company is still sitting there, and their accountant may be trying to figure out, okay, how do I get this done? Or, there's, I guess, 1,000 or a couple thousand pages associated with this particular program, and so somebody can spend a lot of time reading, going through. I encountered another restaurant. One person there says, "Oh yeah, we started this, and not that the business owner needs any money. Apparently, he's well off." Another little place decided, no, I'm not. I've heard of it. I'm not interested. And I said, okay, that's fine. Of course, he was laying in the back room with an ice pack on his chest, trying to stay cool. So, but one little curio shop down here, lady said, well, yeah, I've got. I told her a minimum of 5 employees, and she's, which is what you're going to hear here. And she said, I did take advantage of the PPP. I got $15,000. And I said, well, you can still qualify for something more. So she took the information and she was going to look into it. I went to a cycle shop. They've got 3 stores, probably close to 100 employees. The manager there directed me to their, I guess, office lady, and she would get to the owner. So I sent her an email. went to one furniture store down here that's part of Williams Sonoma, and turns out they've got about 2,500 employees. And I sent him an email, and he was going to forward it down to California. So I don't know. And there's others that I'm reaching out to. The apartment management people. The complex I live in has a regional office, and it turns out the young lady that used to work here, is at the regional office for the vice president. And I called her earlier on Wednesday and sent her the email, and I said, please check with your people. She replied back on Friday that they weren't interested. So I was down here in the local manager's office, trying to get squared away how much rent I had to pay this month. So I stuck my head in. He was aware of the email, and I said, I got the email back that you didn't want to participate. I said, are you aware what you're walking away from? I said, judging from what I think you have here in the metro area, you've got 80 to 100 employees, and that would qualify you for anywhere from probably $1.5 million to $2 million. And your nationwide organization that is across the country and other communities probably has enough employees to where you're walking away from as much as $10 million.
Wow.
I'd like to know, who the person was that said you weren't interested. And he says, well, I think some attorney or somebody in the legal department. Well, I was bold. I just said, hey, if you don't mind, come Tuesday, check and see who that person is. I'd love to give him a call and try to explain to him what they're missing. So I have no idea how big this is going to be for some business owners, but one little bar and grill down here ended up talking to the owner's daughter, who actually got married this weekend, and she knew nothing about it. She said, well, send me an email. I'll forward it to my dad here. So they've got two restaurants, probably close to 100 employees, and it could be a windfall for them. So so I'm just saying, if there's accountants out there that think they can do this and circumvent, paying a small commission, it's a win-win for everybody. So there we go. So now if you want to play the 5-minute, we got enough people on, and let's go ahead, and then we can explain a little bit more after the 5 minutes.
We're going to try real hard.
Okay.
Hey, Trina, are you seeing any comments on our Rumble? Because I'm seeing the number, but I'm seeing no messages.
None.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure because I see the live chat. That's all. I just wanted to make sure because I refreshed a couple times.
Let's see. See, mine won't let me push. Yours works better than mine. Oh, it makes me mad.
Hello, this is Tony with Jorns & Associates. Today we'll be discussing the Employee Retention Tax Credit Program. The ERC was first introduced in the $2.1 trillion CARES Act back in March of 2020. It earmarked up to $26,000 per employee for business owners who kept employees hired during the pandemic. This is a fully refundable tax credit against the employer portion of Social Security payroll taxes or the Medicare tax, depending on the period you're filing for. It's paid to you directly via a check. It's not a loan. You don't have to ask for forgiveness. You don't have to pay it back. And these funds are not earmarked. You don't need to use them for payroll or operating expenses. The ERC can be utilized at the discretion of the business owner. You claim the ERC by filing an amended 941X quarterly payroll tax return, claiming your credits on lines 18 and 26. There's several misconceptions about the ERC. Many owners do not think they'll qualify because they did not have a revenue decline, or maybe their revenue increased during the pandemic. Maybe they didn't experience any shutdowns, or they received PPP loans and those loans were forgiven. And while these are factors in the process, they certainly do not disqualify your business from receiving the ERC funds. The qualification process is extremely thorough. Our team will go through gross receipts, revenue sectors. We'll look at your day-to-day operations, your supply chain, basically how the pandemic affected your day-to-day business throughout 2020 and 2021. The scope of engagement is pretty straightforward. You can connect us with your CPA, your bookkeeper, payroll team, so we can get all the documents necessary to file the ERC on your behalf. You'll complete our basic client questionnaire, get us any PPP loan information, provide us with your original 941 returns, so then we can file the 941X amended returns with the IRS and claim the ERC funds. We do not guarantee any specific refund amount until we have all your payroll data and we can run the calculations. We do guarantee that our calculations are accurate. We do guarantee that our filings with the IRS as a paid preparer are compliant with program rules and regulations. And we do provide long-term audit support and carry E&O insurance with up to $1 million per client. The service fee structure creates zero risk for business owners who decide to work with Jorns & Associates. We have a contingency fee of 20% on the amount of credits delivered, and we charge a fully refundable deposit of $2,600 due at signing. If for whatever reason your company does not qualify for the ERC program, we refund the $2,600 immediately. If you do qualify, then we'll invoice you for the 20% contingency fee minus the $2,600 deposit you paid at signing. So that is credited towards your fee. So if you get paid by the IRS, you owe us money. If you don't get any money from the IRS, you owe us nothing. We have software perform calculations to eliminate human error, and we have a fully audit-ready package, which includes our compliance services. If you want to move forward with our ERC program, the associate that you're working with can send you an engagement letter that you can sign, remit the fully refundable deposit, provide us with your completed questionnaire and the required documents, your revenue spreadsheet, the 941s, the payroll documents, your PPP loan details. We'll have an onboarding specialist assigned to your file so you have a point of contact to help you through this process from beginning to end. Our CPAs will prepare all the filing documents, send it over for your team to review. The documents will be signed, mailed to the IRS, and in approximately 14 to 20 weeks, you'll receive your check from the IRS. Once you get paid, we'll have you pay us the remaining balance for the contingency fee, and that's due after you get your check. There's plenty of information about the ERC on the irs.gov website. You have to go through all the different PDFs, and you can also review the CARES Act, the Consolidated Appropriations Act of 2021, and now the new infrastructure bill will have an effect on the guidance. So you have to keep up with everything, which our team will do that on your behalf. The bottom line is there's over $1 trillion earmarked right now for businesses just like yours. And right now, that $1 trillion+ is sitting in the United States Treasury's account. Connect with one of our associates today and let us help you move those funds out of the Treasury's account and into your business account where they truly belong.
I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
Good job.
Every now and then.
CJ, step away.
She had to go take some, that's why she had went to the pharmacy. She had to pick up some meds. So she,
Okay.
yeah,
Right.
she's taking care of business over there.
Okay. Well, that's a 5-minute video clip that one has available to them. There is, I will say this, there is a 25 to 30 minute video that's kind of a training. and then there's a white paper that I've got an email. I haven't even been able to send that out to you yet. And in this white paper, there's some links to flyers and several other things that explain, the process, that one can utilize. And there's several other trainings in there as well that are done by the SNAP financial people, and don't get confused by SNAP Financial and ERC. The SNAP Financial is another entity that these entrepreneurs have set up that helps with food delivery and stuff like that, where you can, instead of Uber Eats or something else, there's people that can sign up to deliver food for restaurants and others, and you could actually make some money. But we're focusing just on the ERC, so just ignore the other stuff. So
basically, when I kind of looked into it and researched it just to make sense to all of you, if you have and I hate to use these words because they're almost like vomit in my mouth, but the word Vanguard or like a BlackRock, when you have any conglomerate that kind of pulls together different revenues, that's kind of what this SNAP is. But this part of it is CPAs and lawyers handling these programs with the government. And they've put together some of the best teams to do this. So disregard the other stuff. That doesn't concern you. This is what the focus is. And this CARES Act included a lot of things, y'all. And from what I understand on what I've researched, you can't even pull some of it up and find it now with the IRS since the administrations have changed. But you can look the PDFs up. The PDFs still exist, but the actual acts themselves, you cannot find them almost virtually through the like irs.gov. Whatever those links are. And yeah, I'm sorry, but that's saved in my laptop, so I don't remember what they are. I didn't write it down. But that's the best I can give you on that. From my understanding, is something shifted over the last year and a half. Who go figure? But this was set up by 45's administration to help out small business or help out businesses.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, the PPP was a program that apparently provided loans to business owners to retain employees, and then I think the SBA or somebody came in right behind it and forgave all the loans, as I understand it. And even if you did get some of that money, you can still qualify, for this money, under 1 year's program, it's 21,000, another is 5,000. So that's why it's a maximum of 26,000 per employee, W-2 paid employee. Now, let me clarify too, if you're a real small business and you as the owner pay yourself, through a W-2, which makes no sense. As long as if you're a 50% or more owner, you don't qualify. Or you're not eligible, at least if you're counting yourself as one of the 5 employees, and so you can't recover it on yourself, but you could recover it. Let's just say you had 8 employees or 10 employees, other than yourself, you should qualify. Now the process one goes through is assuming how you get your link or how you get the email. When we're signed up, we have through a back office, we have access to the ERC link, which also has an identifier going to each one of us, or if you decide to become an agent, you'll have your own identification number, your own back office, and all you do is copy that link. You can put it in an email. You can send it out to the business owner, to the communities, the business owners in your community. That will link to you after somebody watches that 5-minute video.
Nice.
The 5-minute video at the end has a simple contact form, name, email address, I think probably even phone number. But what happens is that contact form goes direct to the CPA firm. One of the account managers will send you as the business owner an email that has a bit of information in it. You review that additional information. I think the process is set up to reply back. An account manager will then give you a call, answer any further questions you have, and then provide you an engagement letter should you desire to proceed. That engagement letter requires a $2,600 refundable deposit. Once they then start their paperwork, if they determine that you do not qualify, they'll immediately give you back your $2,600. Otherwise, it's applicable to the 20% referral commission. Which they don't send you that invoice until you actually have money coming back. You as a business owner have money coming back for the IRS until you receive your money. Now, if you are an agent, however, the CPA firm has a credit line that once they determine how much the business can receive, the 20% commission amount, commissionable amount, is identified, and the company has a credit line that they will advance you 20% of the commission that you have coming, and as the business gets paid, you will get the other 80%. That can amount to quite a bit of money. And what I was told by my associate here, not to get people excited early this morning, but if a company had, say, 100 employees, I can't say the amount that, again, they don't promise any amount, but he told me the Friday or Saturday that the amount that an agent can earn for a company with 100 employees could be as much as $100,000. So that and it might take 3 to 5 months to get the total amount, but you'll get a small amount that they pay out at the time of engagement, and you've got a back office that shows all this, and you can link your bank account into it, and so the money will go direct to your bank account. And you could be getting $200 to $400 for each engagement. That $200 to $400, maybe even $500 for each engagement that takes place.
So, Luke, I have a quick question, and I think you did say this, but I just want to be clear that I heard it correct. So we did say it's 5, but does that include like the owner, or is it 4 employees? 5 employees?
No, 5 employees, 5 W-2 employees, excluding the owner, especially if the owner owns more than 50% of the business.
Got you. Okay. All right. So not including the owner, 5 employees. I got you.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And basically, for everybody that hasn't dealt with anything like this before, you're looking at being an affiliate for the company that's handling this, and you're helping business owners because they don't even know this exists. A lot of them, they might have got an email on it. What, year and a half, 2 years ago, Luke?
Yeah. They probably, well, this was very much advertised back in 2020 when this whole thing happened. I'll give you an idea. I started to work on March 1st of 2020, with a car dealership here in Seattle that I had to cross the bridge to get to work, but as a shuttle driver. And they actually have, 2 dealerships in the combined location. And I think they have several other dealerships. But I worked for 3 weeks. 3 weeks. And I remember during those 3 weeks, then this whole thing got started. And they started giving us gloves, and then we had wipes, and then we had to, make sure that the passenger was in the back seat, and so after 3 weeks, they said.
Then he put them in the trunk, and then he was like, "Is it worth it?"
I mean, it was fun. I just cruising around town. I've lived here a long time, so I hadn't spent a whole lot of time on that side of the lake in quite a while, but managed to get around, very easily. But so after 3 weeks, they said, well, things have slowed down, so for right now, we're going to ask you to stay home. And I said, okay, that's fine. And if things pick up, then we'll bring you back, to work. Because they had, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 of us, driving these shuttles. So I came home, and they said, you can get paid unemployment, so just file with L&I. Of course, my benefits had run out shortly before that, so they continued to pay me through L&I. Then on top of it, I guess it was the CARES Act kicked in, or whatever the program was, because they started paying me an additional $200 a week in addition to the L&I that I qualified for, unemployment. So I was making
He's popular, y'all. The man on demand.
Yeah. So I was making more just from that on a weekly basis than I was by actually working a 40-hour week.
Mm-hmm.
So, I was content as hell. And
as were most Americans. That's why they never went back.
So this carried on, for about 3 or 4 more months. And then they finally sent me a final termination letter that they would not, keep me in the system to bring me back. But I continued to receive, unemployment. And by virtue of having gone back to work for 3 weeks, I think I drew unemployment for probably a total of maybe as much as 16 months. It continued into 2021. Now the $200 extra that fell off at one point, but this is, and a lot of this was coordinated between the federal government and the state governments with their L&I. So I only, throw that out there as an example of how effective the program was to help businesses. I have no idea. I am going to give the business a call on Tuesday and
Nice.
see if I can get information to the payroll people. because, they could have several hundred employees, and who knows, what it might amount to, not only for me, but also for them. So I'm just getting a note from my guy. He says that he's been told 5, but he's going to check again the number of people and probably get back to me while we're on the show here.
So basically, everybody that your ears fall on this, whether it's live this morning or a week from now, this program is going to go on through 2025. Feel free to contact us and send us an email. The links below are scrolling across the screen for emailing us, so that way we can all be sharing everybody's names and businesses. Now, if you know Luke personally, and this is something that's like in, let's say, the Washington State area, or if you know me in California, where did I get California? Why is that on my brain? I don't even like. I've been there, but I don't want to live there. Arkansas or CJ in North Carolina. If you have a direct contact to one of us, when in the subject line, when you put ERC, put that you know us, and we will get it to the right person, because we're not in this just to make a dollar. We want to see America flourish again. And Luke, we did get a question a while ago, but it was sent on a personal text message to me. I thought the IRS was over and done. I'm giving my opinion, and then I want you to give yours, because yours is better than mine. But my opinion is, until we see another king sit on the throne, as in until we have a new president or an old president or the same president step back in and say, get the hell out of the way, dumbasses. We're stuck with what we got right now. And if he's the one that set this up and got our Congress to vote this through, chances are the money's there, because we've checked that out. The money's there. And it's up to small business owners to follow through with this to get their money back. But that's just my opinion. Luke, floor's yours.
Well, here's my opinion on the IRS. At some point we are going to get a public announcement, that brings down the end of the IRS, the end of the Fed, the whole changeover in government. Until we get that, I guess I would say some of those functions may still be going on. There's, again, what we've said all along, there's multiple narratives out here, and trying to decide which one is correct and which one isn't, is so confusing. Just go with the flow. Now, I will tell you what my experience has been just in the last couple weeks with the IRS. I was a little delinquent and hadn't filed for a few years, so they caught up with me. And because I hadn't filed, they imputed certain income, and it came up with some ridiculous figure that I owed them. So they started taking, toward the end of last year, they started taking, part of my Social Security, every month. So I finally called the IRS, and of course, finally got through to somebody. And of course, they considered me a, quote, a federal employee. And I said, well, the only way I'm federal is if I, since I was in the military. So I had to have special treatment. So I ended up talking to a fellow and explaining to him the situation. And I said, well, and the accountant I was using said, you can ask them to put a freeze on that collection. So he, in February, he put a 6-month freeze on the collection efforts. So sure enough, I got my full Social Security check. Well, 6 months was up, here last month. So I decided, okay, In the middle of the month, I called the IRS, got through after an hour and a half, and talked to a lady and explained to her the situation. And she says, "Oh, I see here in looking at your records that as of August 9th, they still have not processed all of your returns for previous 5+ years. So please allow another 16 weeks, to get that done." Now, this was having filed in October of last year for all those years. And I don't recommend it, but, just saying. So anyway, I said, well, under those circumstances, can you extend the freeze out for another 16 weeks? She said, well, the maximum I can do is 90 days. So I said, great. So that takes it out through November. So they put a freeze, on collection efforts through November. Now, will they get it done by then? I'm figuring, okay, by then we're going to be swimming in money. We're going to have other things happening. There's all kinds of announcements that can happen in the next 90 days. So I figured, what the hell, why not? So it still remains to be seen whether there are IRS people there, working. Now, I called a friend of mine who's in one of the private groups and back in the Midwest, and he's told me that one of his relatives was removed, was given a pink slip a year and a half ago, and moved from the IRS to the treasury. Now, we've heard the announcement that they've hired 87,000 people and they're supposedly arming them and they're going to go after you. Well, that's probably more BS put out by the fake administration. So what I will say is this: my son's experience. In October of last year, I had the accountant file his 2020 return, which was due in October, and refiled 2018 and 2019. And it was set up then once we filed that he's entitled to get back, because he is a W-2 employee, get back 100% of his federal income tax withholding, and there is no tax on labor.
Wow.
So come the first few months of this year, we heard nothing, and then finally in April, he got a letter from the IRS, that said, we processed your 2020 return. We won't be able to do an ACH, automatic deposit. Please allow 3 to 4 weeks and look for a check to come in the mail.
Jeez.
Less than 1 week later, he got the check. And it was the full amount for 2020. That was in April. Still hasn't received anything for 2018, 2019. In February, we quickly filed, his 2021 return. So that was 7 months ago. He still has not received, that money coming back either. But he is entitled to a substantial amount of refund, for all 3 of these years. So the accountant told me at one point, the IRS had 30 million returns that they were behind on. And at one point he said, they just trashed them all. Well, I can't imagine them trashing the returns.
They sure are more than slower than molasses in January, right? As the saying goes, they take
Yeah.
years, but yet they want our stuff like ASAP, right?
They want your money, but there again, who's actually doing this? We've been told that there's nobody in the buildings in Washington D.C. Many of these people have been redeployed. We suspect that some of them may have been set up to handle the sales tax, the national sales tax, the flat value added tax.
Yeah.
So we wait to see. That's my experience with the IRS, personal experience. So
Well, it's funny you mentioned just brought this conversation up because right before we got started, I made myself a note here. I'm like, I need to do my taxes because I filed an extension hoping that for the October deadline I wouldn't have to do them. So I've got a note right here to myself saying, get your shit together, CJ, because just in case, have it in an envelope, getting ready, to go. But this will be the second year in a row because last year I did the same thing. Last year was the first year that I ever filed an extension.
Well, let me ask you this, CJ. Do you owe money to the IRS as a business owner or as a W-2 paid employee?
I'm self-employed. I pay taxes every quarter. I pay every taxes, estimated taxes every four months. But I'm already still owed money back from the last time I filed taxes. I still haven't gotten that money.
Well, you shouldn't even be, if you file properly, you shouldn't even be making estimated payments.
True.
Because you as a business owner, you don't pay taxes on your labor efforts. I've got a gentleman here, that has a small business. I'm not going to say what he does because it'll identify him, but he went through the accountant and refiled, I don't know how many years, you can go back 3 years, but he has himself and one other person on the payroll. And so he's obviously 1099 as a business owner. He's getting back 6 figures.
Wow, that's awesome.
Six figures.
I'm owed money back from the last time I filed, but yet they want my shit now. But I'm like, where's my money?
Well, you shouldn't. Well, with filing now, you should probably employ this accountant to do your return, for 2021.
We'll talk offline. I'm just saying because I love your guidance. But what I'm saying is, I have this note saying that October 15th, when I still haven't gotten my refund from when I did the extension last year, which was the first year I ever asked for an extension, just because
Well, now that they got 87,000 new ones that have guns, they're going to come get you. So please file your returns unless you're going to claim that you're becoming, what is it, a state national or what's the right?
Yeah, state national. Don't believe any of this bullshit narrative about 87,000. I mean, that's they've got no means to pay it. They've got no money. So
my question is, before we leave this topic, because it was addressed in the pulpit at my church yesterday, if a pilot can have a gun in the airplane I'm in, and we know what that could do if you had to fire a gun in an airplane, and yet the liberals want to fight that they shouldn't have them there, and then they want to fight that teachers shouldn't have them in the classroom to protect their class and to protect themselves, but yet they want to arm the IRS with them.
Right.
What the hell world are we living in? I mean,
right.
I don't even, makes no sense to me why you want to come and get my taxes with a weapon, and yet teachers might not could carry them on campus at all, not even their car, much less in the classroom, and protect their babies. Makes no sense.
Well, before we wrap this up and I scroll a second, I'd love to catch up with you, Luke. But my point is, I get these letters when you don't pay your taxes, or I have gotten, I should say, in the past, even though I pay quarterly, like, well, that, now you have an interest and you owe $100 more because you didn't pay it on time. But I'm like, well, wait a minute. So I can't, you think you can do that to me, but you owe me money, and it's taken you a year and a half that I still don't have my refund from last filing. Where's my interest? Where's my interest that you owe me?
Exactly.
That's exactly what I say, especially if you're W-2, because you can use the law, you can use an accountant that knows the law, to zero out your tax. And if you have federal income tax withholding taken out by your employer, you're entitled to get back every penny of that. It doesn't matter how much you make, how little you make, and once we've established the precedent, I try to tell people, just go in, refile your W-4 with your employer, either put exempt, claim exempt, or put down 20 or 25 exemptions, so that you're not having your employer take out of your monthly, your monthly paycheck, and you just gave yourself a raise every month, so.
Well, that's what's interesting. Like I said, just being, self-employed, and it's like when I get my taxes back, right? I'm sure you guys are familiar, they send me these stubs and envelopes, which I don't use because everything is done electronically. But your estimated quarterly tax payment is this for these 4 months, and then you get a next stub, and then you get a next stub. How the hell are they calculating? Well, this is the money that I owe, but then when you don't pay it, then they add all this other interest on top of it.
And we got all that.
There again, if you let's just put the IRS behind you.
Yeah.
Right now. Let's just focus back on this. Again, if you become an agent in this, you're going to have, we'll get the information to you that gives you, a white paper, with links to some trainings, with links to some flyers and explanation, and an example of how you get paid, etc. So it is it's beholding on you. If you're ambitious, if you want to step up, you want to do make some money, for yourself, for your family. You're helping out your community at the same time. So don't there's plenty of information here to capitalize on this. And again, this particular firm has the proprietary software where they can link into the IRS. They can get to your returns, do all this paperwork much faster than anybody else. Now, when you say how fast is fast, they're saying that it could take a total of 3 to 5 months to finally have the money start coming back from the IRS. But they're going to be able to probably do your return or do the amended returns, the 941s, in 3 to 5 weeks. It's just a matter of how cooperative you and or your accountant or bookkeeper is, to give them access to your particular information, to what created the downturn, et cetera. And even if you had no downturn, you may still qualify.
Right.
Just don't assume that you're disqualified. The firm so far has paid process returns that have paid out more than $3.3 billion, to businesses across the country.
So with Luke saying that, I'm going to sum this up as quick as we can because we've had y'all for an hour, and I would like to take 5 minutes just to cover a few things business-wise, or not business-wise, but what y'all want intel which really isn't intel, but like catching y'all up over the weekend type stuff on
Woo-wee.
Patriot. There's been a lot of shit happening. So we're just going to catch it all up right here at the end of this. Thank y'all for sticking it out with us today. But we haven't even discussed this, so I'm fixing to probably blow their minds. If they want to come back on tonight, we were planning on doing a show tonight. I'm not coming back on. I'm just telling y'all. I mean, I'm rib and taking a nap because it's been a long weekend. And hopefully maybe Luke will entertain coming on tomorrow night because we usually do Monday nights with him, but we wore him out because we got him up at 8 a.m. Pacific time.
Woo.
But what I want to do on summing it up, if you own a business and you have 5 to 500 employees, we're going to verify it, but we're thinking it's 5, but it may be 10 because we've got 2 different pieces of information. You need to check into this. It's worth it. If the money's sitting there, why isn't it yours instead of someone else's? If you know business owners that took a hit during 2020 and 2021, what's there to lose? If you have a business credit card that you could put $2,600 on, and then they're going to give you that back if you qualify or don't qualify. Either way, you're getting that money either out because of the money you're getting back, or you're going to get it back because it wouldn't work for you. Either way, you're at no loss. None. You got nothing to lose. And this is a totally legit program. You can look it up on the IRS government stuff. Now, the program doesn't necessarily show, but the PDFs do. So it's there. It's a little hard to look up now because the administration from the 45 to the 46, they've made things a little difficult for us to find. That's why we're here trying to help facilitate other patriots to make sure you get all that was sitting there waiting on you because of the previous administration taking care of you through the shitstorm of the sickness. And I'm just going to leave it at that because I am on YouTube and I am on Facebook. So I'm trying very diligently to handle that with kid gloves.
Yeah. Now here's the thing I've done, Trina. And anybody can do this too. I've crafted an email with some language in it, because there's some people I know within my circle that say, just send me an email. I'll forward it out to the business owners I know. So I've got, just a couple short paragraphs and a link to the video and explains the concept. And, I'll send it to these people and they can forward it out to, the people in their database,
Absolutely.
and I've got some others across the country, some other ideas, and I'm reaching out across the country to people that maybe have access to hundreds of businesses, within their states or communities. So anyway, that's just gives you an idea. You can be as creative as you want, especially with some of the training and stuff that's available through the company. So
absolutely. We do not do Friday night podcast unless there's something amazing happening. So no, we don't. That was a question asked. So intel, which really isn't intel. It's just being aware of everything that's been going on. There is still major strides in the RV taking place this week.
Yeah.
And like I said in the beginning, I'm staying on God's timeline. That's the only thing I'm going to back it up with is God's timeline. And that's that Rosh Hashanah will start on the 25th of September and end on the 26th from twilight to twilight. So it's a Jubilee year, y'all. And if you don't understand Jubilee, that means debts are forgiven, lands returned, and it's a God thing. It's not just a Jew thing. It's a God thing, and we're grafted in by the blood of Jesus Christ. So I'm just telling y'all, it's huge. And I'm staying on that timeline that it's going to happen before that happens. And more than ever this last weekend, I have gotten several different messages that we've seen people that their homes have been paid off, their cars are paid off, their student loans are paid off. You call it a test, I call it Nasera, and it's kicking in, and they're seeing if it's actually taking place or not. I mean, however you want to look at it, I think it's in the face of happening, y'all. Why do they pick who they pick? I have no damn idea. I don't. They ain't pick me. They pick me. You're going to hear me. I'm just saying there'll be a bottle of bubbly being popped when I'm on air, and y'all are going to celebrate with me. So, what are you hearing, Luke?
Well, I just wanted to say this, that there's a fellow that has surfaced here in the last week or 10 days, Derek Johnson. I think a veteran. He actually had to get out early, due to some medical injury or something. But he has come out and he's been in multiple chat rooms. He's been out bringing out information to basically demonstrate that Trump is still president and why. And there's documents after documents after documents. He cites law and order. He cites the laws, he cites the regulations, the executive orders, etc. Now, I tried to listen to 3 hours of him as I fell asleep last night and woke up this morning. So, there is a link out there, that is 3 hours long, and he narrates the whole thing. And actually, one individual sent me an email last night, that also spoke to this and spoke to some other things that I'll talk to you after the show here, Trina. But, he is providing, the information, the links, the executive orders. He is absolutely thorough and he is absolutely spot on. So he's made multiple appearances.
He has actually been reached out to. I have his manager's phone number and I have called and left her a message, but since it's a holiday weekend, I've not heard back. And we've had 10 plus of our viewers that have emailed them. I've emailed them. We've reached out to Derek Johnson. Hopefully he responds.
Yeah. So, and as one of my, close people that I'm networked with, I sent this to her last night. She apparently looked at it, listened to the whole thing in detail. She says, yes, extremely detailed. But she said, a lot of it is the same stuff that I've talked about in multiple episodes over the last 8-10 months as well. So
they've heard you talk about the EOs. CJ and I talked about the EO 13848 when I came on a year ago.
Yeah, there's he brings out a few other executive orders. 13959 I think is one of them. Mm-hmm. that reportedly Trump signed on November the 11th of 2020. Now that is significant, November the 11th, because, and we've talked about the Law of War Manual and all that stuff. But anyway, on November the 11th is the day after Pompeo made the announcement to the press that they were transitioning from one Trump administration to another Trump administration. And it flew over most of their heads. Now, according to all of what we have presented previously, by November the 10th, the military had done an official counting of all the official ballots so that they could declare who was the president. And then Trump put in place several other executive orders, and the staff of people that they had, to work out everything, including, Radcliffe with the DNI, Chris Miller, Ezra Cohen Watnick, you name it. All those people came into play. And then we had the PADs. All that came into play. And they had to play all this stuff out so that you captured the fake administration and the people behind it. And as he explains in detail in the 3 hours, which I caught part of, there is everything that is recorded with regard to what Brandon did to violate the Constitution according to laws and orders. He stresses law and order. So it's all treason. All the other people committed treason. That's why all of this stuff has been processed from, he goes into then some of the background going all the way back to 17, between a period of 17 to 2021. It covers it all. So I'm going to have to listen to it again. But yes, I'll be happy to come on tomorrow night and do a show if we need to.
Awesome. Perfect.
Yay.
Well, the only other thing I want to bring up is if you missed Trump's speech, there are some amazing pictures that are out there, because the actual teleprompter, that's like the clear teleprompter, someone took a picture from the backside. And if you look at it, and you'll find it all over Telegram if you're a Telegrammer, it's circled that at the top of it, it says POTUS. I'm not sure about who you are, but they don't usually call you POTUS after you leave. Now you're still referred to as like President Trump. Oh, yeah, I don't even want to say any of the other ones. I'm just saying, because to me, they've never been actual in that seat of power that I want to refer to them with respect. And I was taught that the office deserves respect when they call you that, because from now on, everything I've learned, that's Clinton, that's Obama, that's Bush, Junior, Bush Senior. But it's a whole lot other initials I could put in front of it instead of POTUS. And most of it would start with an M, and then the next letter wouldn't be so nice.
Well, here's
yesterday, so I'm trying to be nice, but both my pastors that got in the pulpit used some bad words. So if you ever been to church, you want to hear a preacher cuss, just join our church from last week because it was good. That's point on, because they're talking about America being hell to live in right now, and they were meaning it, because they know what's going on. They get the evil. It's so evil, y'all. But after the teleprompter, the other thing that I've been getting pictures of, and of course this morning I can't find any of them to share, because I share so well and they're not on media that I can share, but you can find them. Number one, Mark Z put it on his show this morning. So if you want to find it, go to Mark Z's show. It shows him coming down the elevator, and not once, not twice, but 3 times he made mention those beautiful golden towers, and he's coming down the staircase, and behind his head with a thumbs up says stock exchange.
Yep.
Or currency exchange.
Currency
exchange. Currency exchange. That's what it says. I'm sorry.
But let me say something about that, because I got this response and I had a rebuttal to that. And, I spoke to some other people yesterday in our world.
She don't know either, but.
Listen. So somebody, when I was discussing that yesterday and showing that yesterday to just a handful of people, somebody said to me, well, yes, but that wasn't put up just for us. That's a place where exchange takes place. Foreign exchange takes place. That's the building where that day. And I said, you know what? You're right. It wasn't put up there just for the day, just for us. But it's not coincidental that pictures, plural, and different photography was taken with that in the background with certain things. It could have been taken with him coming out of the bathroom. I mean, I'm being silly, but it did not have to. Whoever was in charge of doing the photography connected to him. There was a reason why the photographs were taken in the position that they were, but that sign, no, was not put up just for this, because that is a building where this stuff happens. So that sign is always there. But somebody tried to rebuttal that with me saying it didn't mean anything.
Well, that's bull, because this has been a plan that has been unfolding for decades, to return us to where we should be.
Boom. Boom.
So just
why did he build Las Vegas to look like Las Vegas looks?
Exactly.
Towers. What does it look like? Have y'all seen it? Have you seen Trump Towers in Vegas?
I haven't.
Doesn't matter what time of the day it is, on which side it hits. That SOB glows gold all the way across that Vegas Strip.
Well, here's the other thing I'm going to post on Patriot in the Park Room. Charlie Ward did an insider call on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
It is now out there public. One of there were several people on Saturday, including Derek Johnson, including Jason Q.
Yes.
At the end of the show, Jason Q put up, 5 or 6 videos regarding the fake Brandon inauguration to show in your face. Just a second. Hello.
Good morning.
Morning.
So I know that it said 10 in that training, but I've talked with Alex and he said 5 a couple of times. So
Okay. All right.
I've texted him, but it's still early.
Okay. Well, you're on the air telling us it's probably 5. So I'm still on the show.
Oh, you're on the air right now?
Yeah.
Oh shoot. Okay.
That's all right.
I'll get on it right now. Listen.
Okay. Well, we're just probably going to end here shortly. So thanks for
We'll
calling.
have the answer for all of you tomorrow night when we do tomorrow night's live.
So what there's 5 or 6, or maybe even a little bit more videos that Jason Q puts up, and he narrates each one of them to explain to you, in your face, America, there is no Brandon inauguration, period. And he explains exactly why. I will capture that and I will post it in the Patriot in the Park Room, and we'll have, if there's any questions, we'll try to get answers for everything by tomorrow night. How's that?
That sounds great. And just to let you know the mentality, I'm in a group on Facebook. So I'm going to get busted out if any of you in this group decided to hop on this training and listen to this today. But I put up on my Facebook page up a video that was shared with me. I didn't do it. It was shared with me. And it's of the speech from Thursday night. I'm trying to be very careful what I'm saying because I don't want this killed off of anybody's stuff. And it is showing someone in the audience from the live Thursday night that happened to be at that event while
somebody was making a speech, right?
While 46 was standing behind a podium. And their phone is being actually filmed from a news media outlet. And their cell phone shows you there are no Marines standing behind.
Oh,
None.
Yeah.
No flag, no Marines, no nothing. I'm telling you, that dark red and black demonic looking atmosphere and feeling, that's it. It was demonic. That's it.
Yep.
That's all I got to say. But when you're watching it, those people behind that situation, all of that was CGI that we were watching.
Yep.
Period. But what I want to say is I shared that in a group, and the name of the group was impeach Joe Biden. It's on Facebook. It's out there. It's a real group. It exists. I'm just quoting what the name of the group is. And it says, after a couple things back and forth, because they were asking what the letter CGI stands for, it says, so if there are 3 or more networks that report the same live event, how can they all synchronize and use CGI at the same time? That does not make any sense! Exclamation. Conspiracy theory. Y'all, that's what's wrong with why this story has not ended, because even some of the Patriots still don't get it. Just saying. Just saying. It's all I got, because I had no words. It was like I had to go make a mimosa when I read that this morning.
Yeah. Okay.
Like,
Okay, we should let these people go. And those of you who want to come back and visit us tomorrow night, we'll
Luke's got to
any
go
questions?
We'll have
exercise.
some more good stuff. Yeah, we'll have
Any
some
questions you have regarding the program, we'll try to have
Email
answers
us.
tomorrow night, and
Or email us.
we'll probably bring you some additional information. Okay.
Or email us at the bottom of the screen.
Yep.
So
Everybody have a blessed, fun, awesome Labor Day.
yes, be blessed. Have a great one. Bye.
Bye, y'all.